Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth, everybody, and happy Sunday. It's Rod with POW Group, your home for MJ Stocks, crypto assets, news and interviews. Today is Sunday, as I mentioned, July 13th. Hope you had a great weekend. And having a great weekend, in this video, we're going to do another rapid fire news update. It's for July 5th to the 11th this time. And again, it's not a deep dive detail, it's just a high level overview in a couple of seconds. And in case you missed it, you can dive into it more in your own time. Before we get to it, make sure to smash the like, all that good stuff. You can like the video, subscribe, tick the bell, you'll be notified on any future videos. Also, you can follow us over on X as well, formerly Twitter. Handle for that is @GroupPow. Going to be using that as my platform of choice going forward. So first and foremost, we have a big week ahead. This is crypto week, and we could see realistically over the next week or two multiple bills. We know we have 3 bills. We have the Genius Act, we have the Clarity Act, we have the Anti-CBDC Act as well. So very good chance, I would say close to 100% as possible, so like 99% chance that the Genius Act is going to get approved, and then probably like a 50-50 chance that we see something with the Clarity Act and the market structure. But realistically, this fall should be an ideal time to get a lot of these bills passed. And then I think they're going to pivot over to MJ. That's really going to be a focus from there on out. But watch for things to get really nutty this week, folks. It's going to be hard to keep track of everything. And yeah, I do think alt season is fully upon us. Bitcoin is also a weekly bull flag that confirmed, targeting 146, and the S&P 500 confirmed a weekly bull flag quite a while ago, and its target is 556. So all signs pointing to higher prices. Also, if you haven't seen it, I interviewed the CEO, Pascal Saint-Jean of 3IQ Digital Asset Management this week past, and it was a fantastic interview. And XRPQ, the ETF, is actually up almost 30% since I interviewed the CEO. And with the gains that we're seeing here after hours, well, not really after hours, it's the crypto market, so it's open 24/7. But in terms of the stock market, it's an exchange traded fund, so it trades like a stock, so it's not trading right now. With the movement that we've been seeing in XRP, we could even see that bust to new all-time highs come tomorrow. So going to be watching this one. And again, if you haven't seen this video, I highly encourage you to check it out. And yeah, fantastic. Loved what I heard, and we'll definitely be having them on again in the future. U.S. stock tokenization services launched by major platforms. So I've been saying, folks, this is kind of the world that we're heading towards, right? This is why blockchain was created in the first place, was to remove middlemen and to rely on alphanumeric code, and we don't have to worry about human greed. You're just going to put everything on the blockchain. You're going to have no more opening and closing bell. You're going to be able to buy fractionalized stocks, right? You're going to be able to buy 0.0001. Settlement time is going to cut down from days to seconds, and the fees are going to be pretty much non-existent, right? You can trade XRP for less than a fraction of a penny for a fee, right? So imagine if all these stocks are settling on XRP, there would essentially be no cost. And yeah, that's the world that we're heading to. And then Robinhood, CEO Vlad, wants thousands of private companies tokenized on platform. So OpenAI denounced Robinhood's offering of its private stock as a crypto token, but the trading app wants to add thousands more to its roster. So not only is it democratizing, stocks and bonds and whatnot, real estate, you name it, it's also going to, the derivatives market. It's also going to go after the private side of things. And this is going to democratize this access. And eventually, I do think that they will either abolish or drastically reduce the accredited investor status, which basically means that almost 85% of Americans or citizens around the world can't invest in these companies in early stages that are going to go off to change the world. But yet we can go to an ATM at a casino and bankrupt ourselves and waste it all at a casino. It makes absolutely no sense. It's the stupidest rule on earth, and it's just, in my opinion, it's not my opinion, this is absolute fact. It's so that the rich get richer and the poor stay poor, right? They want to block us out so that they can use us as exit liquidity when they go to sell. So this is a great sign, and I'm all for it. Elon Musk forms a political party that will accept Bitcoin. So going to embrace Bitcoin. It won't just be Bitcoin, folks, right? Bitcoin can't tokenize stuff. So you're going to need the world's first DEX, right? Decentralized exchange, which is the XRP Ledger. And like I said, it's fast, efficient, and there's barely any cost to do transactions on the XRP Ledger. And it's also deflationary. A certain amount of XRP is burned per transaction, every single transaction. So it's not just going to be Bitcoin, it'll be crypto in general. Also, U.S. government transfers $218,000 worth of ETH to Coinbase Prime. Should you be worried? I mean, it's only $218,000. I wouldn't be, I don't think this should be turning too many heads. But ETH, terrible tokenomics. I think it's an absolute junk. I think it's absolute junk. I don't think it's going to stand, maybe it will succeed. I'd say it's a 50-50 chance. XRP is definitely going to blow it out of the water. It already passed it in 2018 in terms of market cap. And then they delisted the Korean exchanges. So, and we've been seeing volume absolutely skyrocket there, which we got some information here in just a moment. And the amount of inflows that we've been seeing, we're in the billions now for XRP. This is the largest we've ever seen. Mark my words, if XRP gets to $5, that means it will pass Ethereum in market cap, not fully diluted, but current, market cap, which is just price times circulating supply. And it probably won't ever pass XRP again. ETH will probably be dropping down the line. It's it's inflationary. There's so much supply. It rewards the rich get richer on ETH because it's staking. So the more you hold, the more you make. It's just a terrible project in my opinion. It wasn't even the first. It was Ethereum Classic, and then Ethereum came later, and Ethereum was created after XRP. Vitalik worked at Ripple, and Ripple was created after XRP as well. The company was created after XRP. XRP was created first, the ledger. Then Ripple came about. Vitalik worked at Ripple, didn't get his visa. Then he left Ripple, took the idea of smart contracts. Ripple didn't want to do that because it was going to slow down the payments networks, and they didn't think that should be on the layer one. And then Ethereum was created, and then Vitalik stole the idea and went off to create Ethereum. But now we see the problems that Ripple was worried about. It's not scalable, it's slow, and it's expensive, right? The gas fees are exorbitant. So it's an absolute garbage project, folks. Ripple CEO Garlinghouse called to testify before the Senate Banking Committee on crypto, so that happened this week as well. We'll discuss. We had Stuart Alderati, the chief legal officer, and lawyer right behind it. It was almost as if it's planned, folks. And yeah, it was just a sight to behold. But some more information coming on that in just a second. SEC accepts Trump Media's Bitcoin and Ethereum ETF proposal as they continue to see more acknowledgments. But Fidelity's Solana ETF delay raises concerns, says no approval until fall. A certain analyst expects temporary pause on crypto ETF summer. I think that, there's a slight chance that it gets approved this summer, but yeah, I think it's going to be mostly the fall. I think you're going to see the media and these bills that are getting, especially the Genius Act. And then I think the Clarity Act is going to gain a lot of momentum a lot quicker than many think. And I think that'll be the catalyst that's really going to send us. And then the Ripple case being completely ended with the SEC. And yeah, we'll see what else happens. We could see a big partnership as well announced by Ripple, another big bank, or some sort of company. But ultimately, Uber, Airbnb, Amazon, they're all coming for XRP. They'll be using it for sure. And you got X payments coming. So times are getting exciting, folks. Also, Tether holds $8 billion worth of gold in Swiss vault, matching UBS exposure. So gold now represents nearly 5% of Tether's 112 billion reserve portfolio, according to a March attestation. So there's been a lot of controversy around this one, and they haven't been very transparent. It's something that Ripple gets a lot of flack for because they're so transparent, but they're a private company, they don't have to be. That should be viewed as a good thing, not a bad thing. And then Tether, just like, oh yeah, no, trust us, we got it all here. Just, well, can you show us? No. But there's been some information coming out, but as we know, they won't comply for a lot of these different stablecoin regulations in the U.S. New XRP ranks as the most traded asset in South Korea. Now we know why they took XRP off coin market cap from Korea. It's because they love it. So does Japan. Every bank in Japan probably going to be using XRP by the end of the year. And you can see here, they recorded over 132.59 million in a 24-hour volume on Upbit. Folks, XRP will become number 2. It just took number 3 in market cap. It passed Tether. So it goes Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP. Eventually, maybe even this cycle in the next few months, definitely within a year, I would think, we're going to see XRP take number 2 spot and pass Ethereum for the second time, and it likely won't ever get passed again. And then I think XRP, and maybe only XRP, is what will pass Bitcoin in terms of the most valuable digital asset. I've said it many times. XRP will be the most valuable digital asset, virtual currency, and Ripple, which utilizes XRP, Ripple, the company, will become the most valuable company on the planet. Mark my words. It's all happening, and you don't have to. I don't have to convince you. You don't have to believe me. It's time will do that. Also, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse teams up with Bank of New York Mellon. So CEO was on CNBC talking about the partnership with BNY, and they're going to be serving as a custodian of the stablecoin. This is huge, and you can see him laughing here whenever he first joins CNBC. The guy's like, you look almost presidential. And I mean, he's got Congress in the background, and he does look like an absolute stud. Like the guy's an absolute stud, man. His net worth is now 10 billion. We're going to look at that in just a moment as well. But again, mark my words, Ripple will mint the world's first trillionaire. It's probably going to be like Chris Larson, or maybe, who knows? I think it maybe could be Arthur Brito or something like that. David Schwartz, but Brad Garlinghouse is in there. But I would say Chris Larson's probably going to be the first world's trillionaire, and he was one of the co-creators of Ripple. Ripple will become the most valuable company, and XRP will become the most valuable digital asset, and that just comes with thousands of hours worth of research, folks. I have zero doubt. Nobody can tell me otherwise. I already know, and just watch. Enough time will go by. If you don't believe me, if you don't think so, I'm not here to convince you. Watch. Time will tell, and you'll be proven wrong if you don't believe it. Mark my words. I'm as confident to 100% on that as I can be. Also, Circle's USDC is being adopted by Jack Ma, which is Alibaba's creator. Payment giant Ant Group as well. So the Chinese parent company of Alipay is set to incorporate the stablecoin to its blockchain platform as per unconfirmed reports. I love that, as per unconfirmed reports. So anonymous sources. All right, moving along. U.S. government drops controversial crypto tax rule. So could we potentially be seeing the pivot over to zero tax crypto in the U.S.? That's another catalyst that we could see as well. That a lot of people, well, they've been hinting at it, but if we do see U.S. domiciled assets that are deemed no capital gains, these U.S. names are going to absolutely explode, especially like XRP, for example. But it's more than likely going to be like after a certain date, and I bet you it's going to be after. I bet you it's going to be like 6 months or a year out, and then a lot of people are going to wait for that, and then the bear market's going to enter, and then you're going to miss your time to sell at the end of the bull market and euphoric phase. So don't be like that. If you're going to save some for that tax rule and zero tax, I highly recommend taking some profit. Again, not telling you to buy, sell, or hold. This isn't financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. But I would strongly recommend taking some profit and not holding all 100% of your holdings until zero tax. But you do you, boo. Boo-boo. It's maybe you're not selling for another 5 to 10 years, and this doesn't apply to you. But if you're life-changing wealth mode and you've already achieved life-changing wealth, just understand it can go back down just as fast as it goes up, and often it can go down a lot faster than it goes up. So Bitcoin touches $120,000 for the first time ever as it hits a new all-time high, but dips back down to $118,000. Boo-hoo, cry me a river. It dropped $2,000. Who cares? It's at $120,000, folks. Bitcoin also surpasses Amazon in market value and ranks 5th globally. So again, folks, XRP will be the most valuable crypto, and Ripple will pass Amazon in terms of value. Like Bitcoin already passed Amazon, so it won't take much. Believe me, this is the internet of value, which is going to be 5 to 10 times, if not more, bigger than the internet of information. Also, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse's net worth climbs to $10 billion after SEC settlement. So, folks, the net worth of Tim Cook, CEO of Apple, is around around $2.5 billion. And he's been the CEO of Apple, which was created, just I think in the late 70s, 1979 or something, or 76. So late 70s, Apple was created, almost went bankrupt in 1997 if it wasn't for Microsoft giving them a $150 million investment. Now Apple on any given day, Apple on any given day can be worth more than Microsoft. They kind of trade the baton back and forth. But you just have to think, Ripple's only been around since 2012. And he's already worth like he'll soon be worth, 4, 5, 6, 10 times more than Tim Cook, CEO of Apple. Folks, we're dealing with all the money. We're transforming how money works, right? We're talking quadrillions, hundreds and thousands of trillions of dollars worth of, money flowing around the world. Quadrillions, right? Numbers that you can't even fathom. They're so big. And that's what Ripple is going after. They're going to be, it's not even going to be close, folks. You're not even in the same. You're not even in the same league here. It's like comparing apples to grapes. Arthur Hayes predicts monster altcoin season as Bitcoin hits new all-time high. And just ahead of Crypto Week, like I said, these next couple of weeks, folks, so strap in, lock in, whatever you want to say. It's going to be crazy. The amount of money you're going to see this alt season, I heard somebody say you're going to think it's illegal. And I'm like, yeah, that's pretty much bang on. That's accurate. Just giddy up, folks. But again, have a sell plan. If you haven't seen my XRP exit plan video and sell targets, check that out. You always want to know what levels you're going to sell before you buy the asset, right? And then don't beat yourself up if you sell a little bit too soon. Stick to your game plan. Have a plan for, this price, that price, higher price. Maybe you hold some for forever. Check out my XRP video. I discuss all of that, and you can kind of apply that to your scenario if it makes sense to you. Also, Santiment announces the start of alt season as well. So altcoins surging as Bitcoin hits new all-time highs. Like I said, Bitcoin's a weekly bull flag targeting 146,000. I still expect Bitcoin dominance to kind of maintain a flat level. Once we get closer to that weekly bull flag target of around 146, then I think when Bitcoin pulls back, you're going to see alts absolutely melt faces, folks. Also, it has been rumored Jerome Powell will be potentially resigning amid tensions with the Trump cabinet. So this would be huge, folks, if we get rate cuts in the U.S., another thing that's going to send this market ballistic and absolutely parabolic. So just prepare yourselves financially, mentally, and emotionally for the euphoria and sheer, just life-changing wealth that you're going to see over the coming weeks and months. All right, let me know what you think of this news in the comment section. We'll continue the conversation there. It's Rod with Powell Group. Thanks again for joining us in the pursuit of wealth. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll catch you on the next video.